I'm S.Mil. Professionally, they know me as Olu. I work in digital product and operations, in the digital media space, in elite sport, elite football specifically. And I'm on the chair with DottedMag.
So I normally start this by just asking my guests how they're doing, how's things, how's life.
All is well, man. Can't complain. Everything's steady right now. Yeah, man. I'm good. Thank God.
Amen. Tell me about the first football memory that made you feel connected to who you are.
That's a good question. I'd say the 98 World Cup. Watching Nigeria and England as well. That specific game, I'm not sure if folks remember it, but it was Nigeria versus England. And I was in primary school at the time. And anytime England would play, they would get everybody in the assembly room and we'd watch it. And that was a very interesting contrast because one's a black Brit ultimately, you're going to school in Britain. But I also know that I'm a Nigerian, so I'm supporting both teams. which was an interesting one, and that's what truly helped me understand. Okay, I'm blending both cultures here quite seamlessly, and surprisingly, it was a draw. I think it was no, I don't think anyone's scored. So, I mean, perfect result for me at the time. But yeah, Nigeria versus England, that was my first memory that I remember from football.
Growing up, what parts of your culture or background did football help you hold on to?
Growing up, football was like a good beacon in the community. I'd say community is the main thing that it helped me hold on to. Playing football in the cage always brought out the guys. That was just our thing. We always felt okay, cool. Once we're playing football, everybody's connected by this one thing. No dramas, no problems. We're just out here having a good time trying to play ball. And that kind of resonates within culture generally, within Yoruba culture. I'm a Yoruba man, by the way. Sense of community. That's all we had. So football helped blend that in terms of just trying to keep hold that community feeling. I'd say that's it really.
Who are the people, family, mentors, players, or even early digital creators whose influence you feel you've inherited in the way that you work today?
From a family perspective, my pops, definitely. He's one of those, I wouldn't necessarily say disciplinarians, but very structured man, does things accordingly. And I just picked that up from him. And I feel that has resonated in the way I work today. I'm a very steady pair of hands and a man of my word type of guy when it comes to the digital aspect. And I feel in the digital world, when you're working towards particular timelines and what have you, you need that trust, or you need people to trust you to get the job done. So yeah, I definitely got that from him. From a mentor perspective, this one is slightly different towards the football world and personal, but within the entertainment space and the arts, Nipsey Hussle. He's just always been one of those people that I've gravitated towards when it comes to the mentality of just never giving up. He's just always instilled that. You can hear it in his music. He had a very interesting quote that stuck with me in terms of the only distinguishing quality about me and someone else was that I just didn't quit. And that stuck with me. And when it comes to how I incorporate that within the football space, or within the digital football space, should I say, again, it kind of likens towards my pops. It's just being able to be a steady pair of hands, continuing to show up, and just saying or doing what I'd say I'd do. Yeah, that's how I put it.
Was there a moment where football stopped being just a sport for you and became part of your identity?
100%. I think the moment that I understood the power of football was just in your day-to-day interactions, like navigating life in Britain, being black, being Nigerian, but more so being black. Um, Sometimes you feel like this energy where it's like you don't know where you belong, kind of. But when I was younger, anyway, and I was still trying to like just understand like the environment I'm in. Once you speak about football to anybody, like that goes away. um, you can strike up a conversation with anybody once they ask what team you support, even if it ain't a team you support. Like, let's say it's a rival, like you have that banter between each other, and like for that brief moment in time, as they say, like creed, color, race, all those elements, like they kind of go away, and it's just about the game. So yeah, I'd say it stopped being a sport in that moment when I realized like how much of a force it could be to just making the world a better place. Like for that moment, all of the isms and schisms just remove itself.
How does your heritage show up in the way that you approach your role within football's digital space today?
When it comes to my heritage, I clearly I am a Yoruba. I'm of Yoruba heritage, but there's also this element of me which I hope, as time continues to push on, we all continue to get behind, is the Black Britishness of ourselves, which I don't like to put behind the Yoruba heritage. I think like they coincide with each other, they're in sync. So in saying that, being able to adapt between those two worlds, because I class that as my heritage, both of them, the Yoruba heritage and the Black Britishness, the adaptability of myself is what I look to embed within the digital space. It's an evolving space, and with that, you've got to continue to adapt, continue to just be um, in the know, culturally aware, but like technically on point. So yeah, I think that's what my heritage from those two elements have have played and continue to play in like how I approach the game or my space.
What traditions or values from your background do you find yourself consciously keeping alive in the way you manage or tell stories for campaigns, clubs, etc., leagues?
I'd say authenticity is one element of like tradition, like again, those two worlds, being a black youth from South London, we're just always trying to be those authentic people, we don't really shy away from ourselves, and we let it be known that we are who we are. So in saying that, that authenticity, but then also like that sense of style as well, being from Essex too, like that element has allowed me to understand how to mesh a couple of these worlds together. So in that, I try to embed that within like the campaigns I work on, the clubs I work with. Like when a certain project is on the way, those are like certain elements that I look to ensure the clubs or the campaigns are working beside. Like, is this authentic? Is this story being told in a way where it just doesn't feel fake? It feels organic. Um, and do you have a sense of your own style here when you're telling your story, whether like within the Premier League or within the club I'm working with? Like, is this your story as opposed to is this a story that's just trying to be told just for the sake of it being told, like as a tick box exercise? So yeah, I think that's it.
Do you feel like your work in the digital space continues something that came before you, or are you trying to build a completely new blueprint for how the game is experienced online?
It's a bit of both, without like copping out and trying to like just choose one side. It's a bit of both. I feel like there are of course like people who have come before us and have been great at digital storytelling. Like I feel like I exist within that realm of storytelling, but from a digital lens. Of course, happens to be between the football space. And there's people who have put in their time and effort to tell stories that have given me the inspiration to come in and be part of that story, of course. But in the same sense, yes, I'm trying to cultivate and build a lane for myself as well, where I feel like I understand the infrastructure of elite football, going down to grassroots as well, like all levels of the pyramid, and that creative digital element. So I'm trying to be like that perfect bridge where it smoothly aligns with itself. Sometimes I feel like there can be a bit of friction in terms of, okay, this is the space of football, it's elite, like we're supposed to do this way. And then there's this creative element where we're trying to go completely in a certain way, to get engagement and what have you. So I just try to sit in the middle to ensure that both elements understand what's required from each side.